Thank you so much to the Raw School leadership, to Chris and to Ben, to Carrie, to all those who had something to do with this day happening. Thank you all so much for the opportunity. When asked to reflect on the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, it was pretty easy because I was born into the same skin that he died in. I'm raising children that look like the children that lowered their father into a grave in 1968. I reflect on the fact that Martin Luther King was 39 when he died. I'm 35 years old. I reflect on the fact that Emmett Till was murdered when he was 14 years old, that Tamir Rice was 12 years old, that my oldest daughter will be 14 next month and my son is 4. It's pretty easy for me to reflect on the life and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And then I think about the fact that it's only been 48 years since his assassination. One thing is apparent. We did then and we do now live in dangerous times. And as we are the Raw School community, I charge you to think from the subject, think dangerously. Think dangerously. When I think of Martin Luther King and I think of the legacy and I think of the civil rights movement, I really think about Mickey Mouse. I think about Mickey being the mascot for Disney. With no real connection, with no real affection to Disney, you think of Mickey Mouse. I know that there's no connection to Mickey Mouse because if a 5 foot tall, walking, talking mouse walked into this gymnasium, the last thing you would do is smile. It would seem that in a way, Martin Luther King has become the mascot for the civil rights movement and at that, the human rights movement at large. It would actually be popular thought that Martin Luther King died from natural causes. You would think that he died of old age at home with his wife looking at their grandchildren. Well, the fact is, there was something so dangerous about what Dr. King believed in, that in 1968, someone put a bullet in his body. And though they killed the dreamer, they didn't kill the dream. He thought dangerously. Contrary to popular belief, the thoughts that he had toward the end of his life had really nothing to do with black people against white people. It actually had something to do with all people. As you may have been talking about today, and as you should read, if you care to, look up the Poor People's Campaign. In 1968, up until April 4th, before Dr. King died, he was working on a new movement, a new march on Washington, the Poor People's Campaign, and it wasn't about white versus black, it was actually about white and black. And instead of a bunch of angry black people storming the White House, it was about a bunch of pissed off poor people of all races and all ethnicities and all genders and all faith backgrounds unified. Dr. King's most dangerous thought was that all of us, regardless of race, creed, color, or religion, belonged to one another. One of Dr. King's most famous quotes is, "Though we all came over in different ships, we're in the same boat now." If I could challenge the Raw School community to remember one thing, no matter what your passport says, no matter what your country of origin is, no matter how you identify, we all belong to one another. Dr. King's most dangerous thought was that your business is my business. He said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If, as students, you really want to live the legacy, have a dangerous thought, which would imply that you have to be thinking. One of the easiest ways to keep you from being dangerous is to keep you from thinking. So I'm challenging you to think. Here's a tangible way. One of the most mindful acts of humanism we can have toward one another is holding a door open for someone each day. If you were at least mindful that there was someone behind you, you would hold open the doors in the cafe, in the classrooms. You would hold open the doors at every chance you got. But if you were more mindful that there are doors that are open for you, that are closed for other people, you would tear the door off the hinges. If you're more mindful than that, and you recognize that not only were doors open for you that are closed for other people, but that you get an opportunity to get an education when other people don't, you would tear the building down brick by brick. Not because it directly affected you, but because it impacted someone else in your global family. While I'm not suggesting that anyone tempt fate, I am challenging you to think dangerously. Here at Ross School, you are afforded a unique opportunity to learn in the global classroom. What a shame it would be to learn in the global classroom and live in silos. Dr. King's movement was most identified from his pendulum swing from black particularism to universal brotherhood. I challenge you to remember that the person sitting next to you, though you may not know their name, you may not even like them very much, you are responsible for the person next to you. And if I'm responsible for you, and you're responsible for me, then we're all in a better place. We talk about sustainability. Clean water is important. Making sure there are people alive to drink the water is more important. I challenge you today, have a dangerous thought. Thank you.